Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you about Samsung Galaxy A14 for 2023. Please follow or subscribe to my channel to get more video. Samsung might be most popular for its Leader S series and foldable gadgets. However, it likewise has a scope of phones to suit those with a more safe financial plan. There are a few phones in the S series, and the Samsung Galaxy A14 evaluated here is the passage-level gadget, getting started at an entirely reasonable $150 divided by £179. There is likewise a 5G variant of this telephone, which accompanies marginally higher specs. However, this knocks up the expense somewhat. Be that as it may, how does this cell phone contrast with rival phones? Here is my involvement in the Samsung Galaxy A14. Design and build. 3 variety choices. Space for 2 SIM cards and a micro SD card. No waterproofing. It very well might be produced using plastic. However, the Samsung Galaxy A14 is a gorgeous telephone that takes motivation from the Leader Galaxy S23. I seriously loved my light green survey unit, which gives it a new and fun feel. On the off chance that you lean towards something more downplayed, it likewise comes in dark and silver as well as dim red in the 5G variant. The ribbed backboard implies that it doesn't get such a large number of fingerprints. However, it doesn't feel very as premium as other financial plan phones from any semblance of Poco and Nokia. At 9.11mm thick, it isn't the slimmest telephone, yet it's still moderately lightweight at 201 grams. The triple camera module sits on the left-hand side and is subtle contrasted with the remainder of the gadget. It's very like the more costly Galaxy A34. As a matter of fact, the incorporation of a headphone jack is gladly received. However, I'd like in the event that it were on the highest point of the A14, as opposed to the base close to the USB-C port for charging. It likewise has space for 2 SIM cards, as well as a micro SD card. It ought to shock no one that this gadget has no type of waterproofing, and Samsung does exclude a case in the crate to protect it from any thumps or drops. The fingerprint sensor is side-mounted on the power button. I had a couple of hiccups with this after cleaning up. Acknowledgement functioned admirably in any event while wearing glasses. Screen and speakers. 6.6 FHD LCD display. 60 Hz revive rate. 1 descending terminating speaker. The Samsung Galaxy A14 has a 6.6 FHD LCD display. While this is completely fine for utilizing inside, it is essentially not brilliant enough on the off chance that you use it under direct daylight. You'll experience a ton of glare and battle to see anything on the screen. In any case, colors are striking and differentiation well. The 60 Hz invigorate rate isn't quite as smooth as on other phones' 90 Hz or 120 Hz screens. However, the gadget feels fine and dandy for looking at web-based entertainment and tapping around on different applications. The telephone just comes furnished with 1 descending terminating speaker, which passes on a ton to be wanted. Music needs profundity in bass. And in any event, having the volume wrenched as far as possible up isn't exactly pretty much as boisterous as I would like. Specs and performance. MediaTek Helio G80. 4GB RAM divided by 64GB storage. 4G as it were. The rendition I tried accompanies a MediaTek Helio G80. However, a few business sectors have the Samsung Exynos 850. All things being equal, this is matched with 4GB RAM and 64GB storage. However, various nations have higher arrangements. This isn't a lot of storage, yet the micro SD card opening likewise offers you 1TB more leeway for photographs, recordings, and reports. By and large, performance about you'd anticipate from a telephone of this cost. It is delayed to boot up, and periodically battles to stack requesting website pages. Notwithstanding, I may as yet perform various tasks among recordings and virtual entertainment effortlessly. The telephone just accompanies 4G, and this is perceptible assuming that you're in an area that battles with versatile information. I personally had issues at Comic-Con in London. In the event that this is a deal breaker, you could select the 5G variant of the telephone. Cameras. Triple 50MP back camera. 13MP forward-looking camera. No night mode support. The Galaxy A14 has a triple back camera setup. This is driven by a vitally 50MP focal point with a f divided by 1.8 gap, and commended by a 5MP far-reaching with a f divided by 2.2 gap, and a 2MP f divided by 2.4 large-scale focal point. In the event that you're involving the principal camera in splendid sunlight, the A14 functions admirably at the cost. It catches a fair measure of detail in surfaces and the climate, and has sufficient foundation obscure on picture shots. The picture processing appears to overcompensate a great deal, whacking up the brilliance of varieties to the point that it seems as though you have a channel on. For instance, when I snapped a picture under an orange parasol, the entire picture got an extremely warm hint to it that wasn't consistent with life. For close-up shots, I wouldn't suggest utilizing anything over x2 zoom. This is fair for scene photographs. Yet anything past that produces a great deal of obscure and commotion. On the furthest edge of the range, the wide point focal point appears to give everything to a greater degree a pale tone. Be that as it may, while certain subtleties are not as fresh on this mode, it is still better compared to what I've seen from other cell phone cameras at this cost range. I was agreeably astounded by the forward-looking 13MP camera. This gets a lot of skin subtleties, and the bokeh obscure in representation mode is very great at not smirching rebel strands of hair out of spotlight. Video is covered at 30 fps at 1080p on both the front and back cameras. This is fine for catching easygoing film, yet don't anticipate great outcomes. Software and applications. One UI 5.1. Basic operating system. One of the greatest benefits of selecting a Samsung over other spending plan gadgets is its easy-to-understand operating system. While it isn't stock Android, One UI 5.1 is straightforward and does exclude a ton of bloatware like Xiaomi and Realme phones do. These can all be uninstalled, fortunately. In any case, there is practically nothing to gripe about. You can get to the fast settings by swiping down from the top 2 times, which incorporates easy routes for media control and Samsung SmartThings. Battery life and charging. 2-day battery life. Slow charging. No block included. Similarly as with numerous other financial plan phones, one of the most outstanding things about the A14 is its long battery life. The telephone is loaded with a 5 mAh cell, and because of its undemanding processor, it goes on something like 2 days by and large, even with me watching jerk streams and taking photographs. This was additionally reflected in the benchmarking test, where the telephone accomplished a great 13 hours and 28 seconds. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.